because you even know Zambian parents, if they say, where have you been, and you decide to answer, they'll be like, and you are answering, and you are answering.
I don't like your vibe, you can stay around. How you tryna vibe with no papers?
My YouTube channel. I seriously can't say this with a straight face, because last time I came here, I said I was going to be consistent, and it's been 3 weeks since I last dropped a video. I'm here looking like a clown, like this girl. She said she's going to be consistent, but okay, sometimes I just forget I have a YouTube channel. School is hectic. I wish you could understand. Anyways, today I'm here with story time, my first story time. As you can see by the title, from the title, I pretended to faint, and I'm super excited because I finally got SHYSTE to send me songs. Like, I was nervous to ask when I first started my YouTube channel. I wanted to start my YouTube channel with the songs, but I was nervous because I don't know, I just couldn't ask. Then I finally asked, and they sent me the songs, and yeah, that's my intro, and that's the music playing in the background. Anyways, without taking too much time, and before the sun goes in, this glow disappears. This glow disappears. Let me get it. So this happened in December holiday. I was in grade 10. I just came back from boarding school. That was my first term in boarding school, and I just wanted to see my friends. I was moving up and down. My mom didn't like it. My dad was living in Lusaka by then, so he had no clue about it. But my mom didn't like it. She would always scold me. I haven't received a beating. I'm not proud to admit it. Yes, I received a beating in grade 10. I'm proud. No, I'm not. My dad was in town that weekend, and I had to take my skirt to the seamstress because I wasn't going to start my semi-sugo year with a big skirt. No, that was so grade 10. That was so grade 10. I needed to reduce the length of my skirt. You understand? You have to wait for 30 minutes and then come back and collect your skirt. So I was like, oh, no problem. So I stopped by my dad's bar. The bar was in the same area where the seamstress was located. So when I was waiting, I was chatting with, I can't remember who was attending to the bar, but I was chatting with the person and there was nobody there. So my dad stopped by, I think he was going to come by the bar. So when he found me there, he was upset. He couldn't show it because we were in public, of course, but he was upset, and then he was like, what are you doing here? So I was like, I'm waiting for my skates by the seamstress over there. I showed him the shop, and then he was like, okay. Then he goes like, immediately get in the car, and when you're done, get in the car and we're going home. So I was like, no pressure, no problem. So when my skate was done, my dad took me home, and on my way home, like, the ride was silent. He was quiet. I don't know what I did. It's not like I was drinking. I was not drinking, because if I was drinking, you would have smelled it, and I wasn't drinking. So on the way home, I met my friend. She was heading to my place, so my dad stopped and she got in the car and we went together. My dad doesn't like that girl. Okay, let me give her name. Let's say her name is Yellow. My dad doesn't like Yellow. My mom knew her dad. My mom knows her dad, and we've been friends for a long time, so my mom has no problem with her. But then my dad, I don't know if he met her with some boys, so he thought she was bad influence. But to be honest, she didn't drink, she didn't know boys. If there was someone who was bad influence, I would say it was me. Because, okay, I'm not about to sell myself. When we got home, my dad went like, no, don't leave the house today. And don't go anywhere with that girl. I really don't like her. And I told her, and I told you to stop playing with her.
We'll stop playing together.
Then he goes like, what else did he say? He was like, I don't want you out of this house. So I was like, oh, cool. But you think you're the only one who gives permission? Do you think you're the only one who gives permission? Do you know Mrs. Kawe gives permission to go out? Do you know that? So I called my mom on the home phone. At the time I didn't have a phone, and we only had an emergency phone. She was like, yeah. Then I was like, can I leave the house with Yellow? She goes like, how long will you be gone for? So I was like, I'm not planning on taking too long. Then she was like, all right, just be back home before your curfew. And I was like, You thought you were going to trap me in the house. No, watch me go. I went to Yellow's place and I had a headache. So after chatting, I ended up sleeping because my head had pounded. It was really hurting. I think it was a migraine. Slept off and woke up at 7 p.m. and my curfew was 6. So I woke up immediately and I got out of her bed immediately and started off to my place. When I got home, my cousin started exaggerating. Patience, where have you been? Patience, where have you been? Where have you been? Uncle has been back 3 times. He went, he came back, he went, he came back, and he did find you. Where have you been? Then I was like, I was at Yellow's place. So I went straight to my room, and that day, the lights in my room had a problem. So when I got home and I tried to turn it on, like it just stopped. The next thing I knew, I was hearing my name being called. Like I heard my name. You know when you're sleeping and you hear someone calling your name and you're like, oh, you. So I just kept on hearing Patience. Because at home they call me Patience. They don't really call me Chwala. So they're like, Patience. I'm like, who's that? Patience. I'm like, who's that? I just sat up. And you know what Mom! I was slapped. Guys, that was a slap and a half. My ear blocked for 2 days. Then I realized it was my dad. So I was like, why is he upset? Okay, we understand you're upset, but do you really have to slap me though? Do you? So he kept on shouting, where were you? You started misbehaving. Why did you come back home at this time? I'm like, relax. I know Zambian parents. If they say, where have you been? And you decide to answer, they'll be like, and you are answering. You are answering. And you are answering. So he didn't give me the chance to explain. He just talked, said what he had to say, and left the house again. At 21, my own sister came. Patience, mom was calling me. So I went to my mom's room. My mom was like, your dad is really upset. And I was like, no kidding, I've been slapped. My ears blocked, talk from inside. My mom was like, what's wrong? Why do you keep squinting your eyes? I was like, my head is aching and the light is also making my head ache more. So she was like, okay, go and sleep. But next time, don't go over your curfew, don't. So I was like, okay, cool, sour. I went to my room and I slept. But when I got to my room, I slept on the floor. I slept on the floor. It was December, yeah, but then it was hot that day. So when I got to my room, I was tired of the bed. So I went on the floor because it was cold on the floor and I really wanted my body to beat. My cousin came to call me after she was done cooking. She was like, dinner is ready. So when she walked through the door, she went straight to my bed. She touched the bed and then saw that I wasn't there. So when she was walking out of the room, she bumped into my leg. And I really didn't want anyone to disturb me at that point, so I kept quiet. Then she was like, Patience. She called my name. She was like, Patience. And I was so unresponsive. I didn't want to wake up. I just kept quiet. I was like, stop bothering me in my head. I'm like, guys, I just want to. She shouted, Auntie, I think Patience has fainted. Did I wake up? No, I went with the flow. My mom came from her room. Then she was like, what's wrong? Patience, wake up. And I was just like, laughing in my head. Outside, I was so serious. My mom told my cousin, she was like, oh, it's because of her head. Because she was complaining that she has a headache and whatever. So bring a face cloth to put on her head and bring some water in a cup. So my cousin went to get the face cloth and then they put it on my head and then they got water. They started sprinkling on me. Pretty sure my mom saw that in the Jordan movie. And they started sprinkling water on me. Then my mom was like, Patience. Then I did. I was like, what happened? My head. What happened? And I was like, what's wrong? I'm like, my head is really aching. So my mom called my dad. She was like, Patience is complaining that she has a headache. Come, let's take her to the hospital. My dad was like,
what is it?
My mom was like, she even fainted. Come, we take her to the hospital because she's complaining that she has a headache. My dad just went like, I'm not coming home. Now Koloyo. I was like, this man really thought I took liquor that day. He refused to come. So my mom and my cousin took me to the living room. I sat on the chair, and then my mom started asking me, besides your head, is there anything else bothering you? And I was like, let me exaggerate. I was like, I've been having a headache for some days. Maybe it's because at school there was this girl, people told me she was a Satanist, but then she's been appearing in my dreams, and then every time I dream about her, my head starts spinning. My mom was like, let's pray. That's how we prayed. I ate and I went to sleep, and I wasn't bothered again. The following day, I woke up, my ear was still blocked. So that's it. That's how I pretended to faint. That's how my dad thought I drank, and that's how my mom bought my app. Don't forget to like this video, to share it, to comment down below for more story times and any other ideas. Shout out goes to my cousin because he was doing the most and he's been sharing my link, and I've had some subscribers. I think it's because of him. So thank you, Mansa. I really appreciate the time. Ciao.
Another kid for the drugs and the mix. You can judge who you like, you can tell